Everything.
Seriously. Hey, thank you for coming today, Neal. This is gonna be fun.
Good. Well, I'm glad we got to see your smiling face, Frank, because I haven't, just a tough time for everybody right now, but getting through it.
I think we're all gonna get through this stronger.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, no question about that.
Totally. So the first thing I'm gonna ask you to do, Neal, is I know you have some scotch around there.
I drank it all Friday.
Cool. All right.
Nothing left.
Again, Neal, I know especially during this crazy time, we're all scrambling, so your time's valuable, so I totally
no problem.
All right. So we got some really great questions, Neal, that came through. The first question that we got is, Frank, how did I even get involved with Not Fit? And why am I even involved with all this crazy shit? And the blanket answer is, when I first became a trainer, back in the late 90s, there was an opportunity for me to become a trainer, everybody. And the gym I worked at gave me two options right away. They were going to send me to NASM, National Academy of Sports Medicine, to get certified. And then they were going to send me to what was called Apex School, which, guys, it was a legit full week schooling of just nutrition and supplementation. It just worked out that Apex School came right before NASM. So I got all the education on nutrition and supplementation. I mean, like, more than I need to know before I even touched exercise. So if you're a member of my gym, Stronger Our Community, I was baptized in nutrition, dietary support before I even knew anything about exercise, any sort of real curriculum. So, and lucky enough, when I went to Apex School, it was taught by this ex-bodybuilder dude named Neal Spruce. And so that's where Neal and I initially connected. But what I took and I stole from Neal in Apex School was really the foundation of what is Stronger today, which is our 5-finger death punch of fitness, which is attitude, nutrition, dietary support, exercise, and community. I stole that from Neal, which is Apex's or God Fit's 4 pillars, which is nutrition, exercise, supplementation, coaching. I just changed it a bit. And I'm going to go one step further. A lot of big brands out there, you don't even know this, stole that same shit from Neal, which is Gold's Gym has stolen it. UFC Gym has stolen it. Crunch Gym. If you were to look at all of their values, we all share the same shit. So Neal, I'm honored that you're here, and I'm excited that we're going to talk some shit.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Frank. You guys, we've been partners forever, and to kind of give you an idea, my family grew up like Frank. The more important thing was the nutrition than anything else, and lo and behold, they're all professional athletes, NFL fighters, the whole thing. So that came second. What came first was a strong body, which can only happen with nutrition.
So Neal, the first question I get all the time is, so everybody read your bio, they know about you. How did you even get involved? Why did you get involved in fitness exercise to begin with? How did that even happen?
Yeah, well, I grew up with no family. So I lived with different families, so the only thing I really had was sports. So when I moved around from place to place as a kid, but I found sports and I found a community there. So I played ball. Football was first, basketball as well in high school. And, that was how I got involved with fitness, because I realized, I didn't eat well when I was a kid, and because I didn't have food. I was that kid you see in a dumpster sometimes, so but then when I moved into this house with a Portuguese family. I was 16, I think. So I was a junior playing ball. And I got to take a whole big lunch rather than mooching food. I got a big lunch and I ate all that, and I had my very best day that fast in football practice. Now, again, I was a depleted kid, so that wouldn't happen to many kids today because they eat too much, okay? But when you do that, and then I go like this, wow, that was my aha moment as a kid. That's what life is right there. I realized that was the only difference I did there. I had to like crazy, and then the rest of my life was devoted to nutrition after that. And then I built I put the very first nutrition program in the history of gyms. I put it in Gold's Gym because that's where I started. There was only one gym, and that was Venice. And all bodybuilders go there to die. So my kids were actually born right across the street there in Venice as well. But I put the first one there, and the rest is history. I went from Gold's to all the different gyms, you know, the 1,500 gyms, and I met Frank along the way there. So that's really the story of nutrition. And again, I was obviously a top bodybuilder, so exercise for me was just fun. I just really enjoyed it, you know. I liked lifting heavy shit. It really wasn't about the rest of it. I just liked that. That was just cool. And the bigger I got, the more you had to eat, and you realize your whole body is controlled by food, every part of it. You can exercise all you want, but guess what happens if you don't eat? You die. And every time you work out, all you do is tear down muscle. You don't build it. I always start every lecture that way. How many people think exercise builds muscle? Everybody raises their hand, and I go, well, you're all wrong, obviously. It only tears down muscle. But it sets the stage for what you want it to do. So when you eat nutrition, nutrition makes the movie. Exercise sets the stage, nutrition makes the movie. So if you put in half the nutrition your body can use, you get a half result. You put in all the stuff your body can use in the right amount, every day your body changes.
So, Neal, when did the aha moment for, you know what, not just my family, all families need supplementation? When did that come about? And what does DotFit stand on that?
Well, here the reason we do that is this. I have one job for everyone here. I have one job being in the gym business. So I'm partners in many, many gyms, UFC, Crunch, as he was talking about. They're actually, you know, partners. So my job from day one, back in the 80s, when I started putting nutrition into gyms, was to get every member addicted to fitness. Now, to get someone addicted to fitness, you got a very tight window. For those of you that don't know, the gym business has the highest attrition rate of any business in the world. And that's basically, in our defense, is because we sell shit people don't want to do. So they come in and they like it, but if they saw their body change every week, it's a difference, exactly what they came in for, well, that's not going to happen without nutrition. They're going to walk out and screw up everything we just did for the hour in the gym. So I put nutrition in the gyms, knowing as a bodybuilder back then, still competitive. You know, I realized if I give them the plan when they leave the gym for the other 23 hours of the day, they're going to change and they're going to stick to our facility. So we built the biggest brands in the world, from Gold's Gyms to 24-Hour Fitness, and then UFC, Crunch. And so because we make sure everyone has that plan, whether they follow it or not, sometimes they don't, many of them don't. But for the most part, we are the most successful gyms in the world because my job, Neal Spruce's job, is to get everyone addicted to fitness. And I don't want them going to GNC and buying junk. You know, the mass market has got to, they don't, and consumers aren't qualified to do that. They're not qualified to go into a GNC or go into a Costco and say, here's a multivitamin I need. You don't know that. You got to look at the ingredients. You got to know if they're anywhere around the right amounts that you should have to complement your food intake. So if we give your food intake and your multivitamin and where the protein works in your workout and how that all goes, you've got the whole story in one place. And that's the only way it can work. It is not your job to go out there and try to figure out, well, maybe I better go to a dietitian to get my menu planning. Maybe I better go to Costco to get my vitamin. Maybe I better go to the gym and work out. Get it all in one place. So that's what we did in the 80s. And that became the beginning of the 4 components, 4 pillars that you were just talking about. That became this. You can get everything all there and nothing is wrong. Everything is perfectly and synergistic. That's kind of how the whole thing got and how we blew it all up.
Yeah, so for everyone watching, that and what Neal said is the whole reason why, you know, we as Stronger decided to partner with DotFit. I mean, I could have chosen anybody on the planet, and so could Crunch Gym, UFC Gym, Gold, all these big companies, including my little gym here in Southborough. We could have partnered with anybody. The reason we chose DotFit is because of the transparency, the third-party testing, the truth in labeling, and the legality behind it too, is that we're covered. And again, it's just having that relationship with someone like Neal and DotFit, who actually, believe it or not, in an industry which is dirty, gives a shit.
Yeah. You know, and you know, the problem with, you know, again, I don't ever fault the retail outlets. For those of you that don't know, DotFit we are a research and development company. We're not a supplement company. And that separates us from the guilty parties out there. People think, you know, if you think we're a supplement company, you have no clue what we do. What we do is design the formulas around true science because we have to integrate it We are what you call a practitioner product. So we follow practitioner guidelines, which means we do not sell into the mass market. I get called every day by Walmart, Amazon, can we carry your products? I go, no. It's got to go through a practitioner like Frank, who's been certified, that understands this and how to integrate it properly. So you're getting sound advice, not from a Walmart clerk, Costco clerk, GNC store clerk. They don't know, they have no clue on the whole picture. So we went the practitioner route when it came to getting dietary support made. So the formulas are not only scientifically sound, but then, as Frank says, we have to send it back out to someone else and third-party test it, which is why we are the biggest distributor of dietary supplements in the pro sports, college sports, and the whole fitness channel, because no one can really trust anybody else. And unfortunately, the mass market is fraught with problems. You read it in the newspaper all the time. That's why you should all know, that's why many scientists poo-poo supplements, but yet they all take them. They only take practitioner products. They will not, because the commercial practices of supplements in the U.S. has got some problems. You know, they sell on price. If you go to Costco, they got to be cheaper. They don't have someone like Frank telling you why this product you should take is better. So they just have to compete on price. And everybody goes, okay, that's the cheapest, but it's still whey protein, I'll buy it. You ended up buying something that's completely watered down and underformulated, because that's what they do.
So, Neal, we have a lot of parents, and we all get this question all the time. Should my kids take supplements? Can my son Johnny have a protein shake? Again, fair questions. What's your response to that?
Okay, well, that's simple, because there's no one that has done more on youth nutrition than me. You won't find anyone on the planet that has. From a Pop Warner coach to putting all the kids from the time they were 6 years old, giving their parents menus. Here's how your kid eats today, and here's what they do, and every single kid on the planet, from the time you were in the womb, when you took a multivitamin and didn't even know it. So all you moms out there, you took a prenatal multivitamin mineral because your doctor made you. That from the time you're in the womb, you took a multivitamin. And then, by the way, you should all know this: the prenatal wiped out 35% of major birth defects in just one swoop. Starting in the 70s when we had all those problems, and then later in the 90s, the neural tube defects, is all from just lack of certain vitamins that moms weren't getting enough of. So you don't come out of the womb eating better. So obviously, you take a multivitamin, that's not negotiable. A multivitamin mineral, not a mass market, but a complete multivitamin mineral for the rest of your life, forever. That's not an option, especially for a growing child. That is a huge mistake. And so that's number one. And sometimes that's it. Okay. So for instance, use my kids as examples. So when they grew up, of course, first of all, in the womb, they have their prenatal, right? So they're getting it there. They come out of the womb, they have breastfed, all right? And with their breastfeeding, you're still taking the prenatal, so they get the multivitamin minerals still the same way. The second they're off breastfeeding, they go to a formula. Well, guess what a kid's formula is, ladies and men? It's a multivitamin mineral. It's a milk product fortified with vitamins and minerals. So now your kids, the best fed people on the planet are the ones that are in the womb and they come out, they're getting a formula. Okay, they're the ones that, so we can make up all that. As soon as they get teeth, they should be on a chewable multivitamin until they get to about age 12, and then we flip them over to an active multi. But the bottom line is they should be on that their whole life. So that's not negotiable. That is not negotiable. That is something that every human being on the planet, and you can read all my peer-reviewed stuff that's written on that, you'll get it. That's one. The other thing they have to do, you remember, you have windows of opportunity as a child, as everybody in development. And those windows pass, you can't go back and get it again. So the brain is being created while it's in the womb. It comes out first trimester, third trimester, those are windows of opportunity. So you want all the nutrition in there. So you ladies, you know now that doctors are getting, the OBGYs are getting, expecting mothers, they're giving them also omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, because that is crucial to brain development. Doesn't mean their kid's going to be smarter. It just means they have the potential to learn more. All right, and that's what it's all about. The rest of it's all in the environment, when they come out. So your nutrition is the brick and mortar. The parents and the teachers are the environment. They're the architect. They're going to make that whatever that structure is. So you're trying to build the structure at each stage of life the best you can. So after that, so you've got the multivitamins not negotiable, but when bones are being built, the 1,000 milligrams that kids are supposed to have when they're growing up, and you change at age 2. If they're not getting it from food, and hopefully they are, because my two sons, who are both professional athletes today, one in the NFL and one a professional fighter. They have never taken a calcium supplement. I have never taken one because I never stopped drinking milk. I eat cheese, I have milk, I've been on regular, never stopped. Too many people have. Stop taking dairy, and you can't go back and build bone. You can only build bone up to about age 25 or 30. After that, all you do is lose it. So if you don't have all that bone built during that, you can't just start taking calcium and rebuild it. It's not going to happen. You can slow down the inevitable, but that's why almost every adult at age 70 has osteopenia, which is the beginning of osteoporosis, or full-blown osteoporosis. Bones break, they lose their balance, and that's all just from lack of nutrition when they were younger, not just older. So the importance of those things is what you've got to do. So if your kids are not eating fish, every kid should have an omega-3 fatty acid, just a simple one little thing. These are inexpensive. A multivitamin, inexpensive. It's like $10 a month, okay? And they have a multivitamin mineral. It's got about 19 vitamins and minerals, not an incomplete one you get in the mass market, one like we have to make as a practitioner. So they've got multivitamin, a calcium, if they're not getting it, but I want them to get it from food. Food is always first, okay? And then as far as protein goes, if your kids, if they should be, when they grow, it should be 1 gram per pound. You can easily get that from food. If you have an athlete though, if you've got a kid that's growing up as an athlete, then you want to get protein, a quick protein shake like Frank used. We use First String for all of our youth athletes, 5 years on up. We got First String before their workout and First String right after. They recover twice as fast because kids practices are just overblown these days. They're just doing too much and they're not nutritionally fit to do that. They don't recover well. They come up with these little injuries and they shouldn't. So before they get out there, 30 minutes of protein shake and right after. And then you've got a lot of protein in the body that can work the rest of the day as well. And most importantly, they'll recover twice as fast and be ready for tomorrow and not pass out on the field and be tired. So they can stay alert. Those are the things. So that's all you. And by the way, don't look at a protein shake as a supplement. It is not a supplement. It's ground up food in a can. That's all it is, a milk protein ground up in a can. Yeah, you'll love this. So it's just a side story, then we'll move on to the next one. When my kids are growing up, they finished breastfeeding, right? My kids are in their mid-20s now, for those in case you're wondering. You can Google them. They're pretty well-known athletes. But so when they were going, they're mid-20s. So as soon as, and everybody goes, how come your kids are so much taller than you? And I go, well, I'll tell you, here are the facts. When they finish breastfeeding and you got your little baby formula, and you're shaking it up, and so I would always offer, I'll feed them, okay? And then I would take that baby formula and put a scoop of protein in it, right on top of it. So my wife goes, what are you doing? I'm going, this is back in the Apex days, high performance protein. I go, I'm just putting protein in there. Now, me knowing nutrition probably better than most people know that's only going to be good for them, not bad for them. But it was a little joke. When their growth plates were open, as long as their growth plates are open, I was force feeding these kids so that they would grow so that they would get the maximum height. Because by the way, height's controlled by nutrition as well. So 80% of your height is genetic, 20% is nutrition. So keep that in mind as the kids are growing up. So there's a little story on the protein for kids. I don't care if they're 1 year old, doesn't matter.
Is there such thing as eating too much protein?
Well, you'd be sick before you hurt yourself. You know what I mean? There's too much of anything's bad for you, right?
Because you hear that
milk is the only pure food in the world that can actually sustain life all by itself, but you can drink too much of it, right? A little bit of this is great for you. So, the bottom line is 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass is the recommendation we've done for years, and now all of science has jumped on with us. The older you get, folks, the more protein you need. So you're looking at me. I'm 67 years old. My sons are in their 20s. They're twice my size, right? They're not as big as I was when I was an athlete. I'll tell you that. That's why my wife says I'm half the man she married. I was 270 pounds as an athlete. Now I'm down to 160. But I need twice the protein they do because when you're young, your body can still use it well, and they're twice my size. So keep that in mind. That the older you get, the more you need. And any adult needs 1 gram per pound if you're going to stave off the inevitable. And the inevitable is you're going to shrink and go away one day.
Yeah,
so just keep that in mind.
Stay on that topic and expand a little more on sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia sets in, by the way, it sets in in your 30s. The 4th decade of life is when you no longer are going to build muscle unless you go to a gym, unless you load your muscles regularly, okay? But you're not going to build once you become while you're sedentary, up to puberty, that's when most of your muscle comes on. Then from puberty to about your mid-20s, depending on your activity, you can still add a little bit more. But after in your late 20s, you're at a point now where all you can do is go backwards. The body was designed that way, folks. And the reason is because everyone died in their 20s back, obviously during the last ice age and all the way up to a few thousand years ago, everyone died in their 20s. So the human body wasn't programmed to live as long as it is today. So it starts shutting down right after puberty. That's why all you females out there, that's why you start mincing at age 12. You mince at age 12 because you're supposed to get pregnant then. Because women didn't live into their 20s. So you had to reproduce as a species. And then, of course, almost everyone died in their 20s. A few people might make it to 30, but that would be about it. So the body's still programmed that way. That's millions and millions of years. That's 4 million years of hominids. So of evolution. So we've only in the last few hundred years got this. And by the way, 100 years, not less than that. In 1931, the average life of a human being was 49 years. Then Alexander Fleming invented penicillin, and the world changed overnight. So keep that in mind. We're not designed to. So we have to cheat death. And by cheating death, we've got fantastic medicine that can wipe out some certain things. And we have nutrition levels that we know we're supposed to hit. So we can keep the body going when it's actually programmed to shut down. And that's the idea of more protein when you get older and everything else. But otherwise, muscle just goes away. For instance, for me, all I'm trying to do is protect my muscle till day's end. So that when I'm, if I make it to be 100 years old, I want to still be independent. I don't want my kids carrying me around for the last 20 years. And that's exactly what's going to happen to everybody. And you all know those people when they're not feeding their body all the things they can use to stave off the maladies of aging.
All right, Neal, let me paint a picture here. I'm over the age of 40. I want to lose body fat. I want to get stronger, clearly. How will Amino Boost help me achieve this?
Well, okay, so let's say you're over 40. All right. Well, Amino Boost we use that, but there's two ways of using it. You have to understand. I would argue that most people that work out that are getting a gram per pound of protein, right, from their food and their pre-workout protein shake and their post-workout protein shake, they don't need Amino Boost. They're getting enough of everything they need, and they're just average people working out. The way we use Amino Boost, and it is our most popular supplement, is in two ways. One, during aggressive weight loss, or during weight loss, we'll use that for the pre-post shake. That cuts all the calories out. And it is the most powerful anabolic stimulant that we have. In other words, those 8 essential amino acids, and there's the one we don't need, which is tryptophan. So the 8 ones there are involved in what we call triggering muscle protein synthesis. So we actually have athletes drink that stuff during their workout and before their workout and after, because they'll recover twice as fast. The average person that works out doesn't need that extra stuff. You're getting enough from your protein before and after your workout, and then your proteins throughout the day. And of course, you're taking your vitamin and everything else. So they wouldn't need that. Now, when you are, our athletes, they take their protein before the workout, 30, like we talked about, 30, 40 minutes before. They take the Amino Boost right before they work out, drink it during the workout, and then immediately after their Amino Boost again. Now they're keeping protein synthesis doubling. Most people don't need that. These are people that have to recover immediately because they're playing ball tomorrow, or they got to work out again 3 more hours the next day. So they'll take their protein shake right about 20 minutes after that last Amino Boost. That's what we call stacking. I would argue most of the people in your gym don't need to do that. Now, on the other hand, if you don't work out, and you've got relatives that are older that don't work out, or anyone, Amino Boost I would take 3 times a day, because now you're going to stave off that sarcopenia for someone that's going to go really fast, lose muscle, lose balance, and start falling and things like that. This is better than anything. Get a gram per pound of protein for these people that don't work out, and take Amino Boost 3 times in between meals. Now you're going to stave off sarcopenia. So that's how we use it there. Now, older people after surgery are using it. So it's actually a prescription. They'll actually get a prescription for it, and then doctors put it on to recover faster as well. So it works without having to work out even. It works, so does protein, obviously. But this is something that we would add during that. Now, if you're in a weight loss program, use Amino Boost for your before and after, and then just use your protein for your meals. Add it to your meals. That makes sense?
Neal, what advice would you give to someone who, listen, we're all quarantined right now. Maybe I am working out less. I'm sedentary. I'm really close to the refrigerator and getting a lot of takeout. I'm starting to snack more. What would the best advice be for someone like me to kind of like fight through this insanity right now?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you got to just set a schedule. We all use our nutrition program, and it's free to all your members, obviously, the Fit Nutrition Program. Lay it out there, create your menus right there within the calories you're allowed, which is simple. Obviously, the program does everything for you. It takes 6 minutes to set one up. You got to look at your menus, stick it up on your refrigerator, and you got time. So make a new menu every day. It takes 2 seconds. Make a new menu every day. Have fun with it. And we got recipes up there. Use all those. And so I tell them, you got to make a schedule because otherwise you won't skip to it. You got to make a schedule. I'm going to eat here, here, and here. Here's what I'm going to eat. And then make a new one because you got time to do that if you're in a lockdown. So that's one. And then as far as exercise, but don't skip on the exercise. There's plenty of things you can do at home in the Fit program if you're stuck at home. Is how to exercise with no equipment. So design it saying, I want to maintain muscle, I want to lose weight. And then it'll say, okay, what kind of equipment do you have and how many days you want to work out? Click on that. It'll create a full program that you can do at home with no equipment. So there's plenty of ways that, the platform that you use, Frank, can make all your people can use, and they can, no matter where they go. And that's the best thing to do is just create a program and have fun with it.
Neal, can you talk about the importance of timing of supplements, whether it's a multivitamin to a post-recovery protein shake? Can you just talk a little bit about the importance of that?
When you take it, then are you talking about when to take it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So all of your health supplements, whether it's a multivitamin, a calcium supplement, or omega-3, or an antioxidant, you take it right after your first biggest meal of the day. That way, the meal's in the stomach, the vitamins and minerals sit on there, and it kind of slows down the digestion of everything, so your body can use all those nutrients. Now, we're different, being a practitioner product. We have a controlled release multivitamin, so it releases over time. So your cells stay fully charged with the vitamins and minerals that they need to function properly. So you got that. Your protein, just make every meal, and your goal should be I always say at least 4 meals a day, and protein in all those meals. All right. So if you need 120 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein in 40 meals, where you're getting, say, 25 grams right before your workout in your shake and 25 grams right after in your shake. So you got 50 out of the way right there. So real easy to break the other ones up. Every 4 hours is what you want your meals to be, because that will keep your muscles go through cycles. Every 4 hours it starts to break down. So this is how cells replace themselves. They break down like this, and they never start going back up until it sees amino acids. That's how the thing about every 4 hours athletes eat. We've been doing that since the 60s or 50s. So, and then as soon as your body sees amino acids, then it goes through another cycle of building, and then down, and then building every 4 hours. 4 hours down, 4 hours up. When it finds but it will never go up if you don't take amino acids. That's why you just shrivel out and die if you don't eat. So anyway, that's how you do it with the timing of protein and meals, and your health supplements. You just take right after you've eaten your biggest meal. Maybe that's lunch, and that's fine.
Yeah. So Neal, will supplements be effective at all on an empty stomach?
Oh yeah, absolutely, no question. I mean, a lot of people do it, and I always, my stomach gets upset if I take them on an empty stomach. So I always make sure I eat first, on those ones, when it comes to those. There are some that should be taken sometimes without food. Nothing that we make, but there's some other things that you might want, like a caffeine product, because you want it to hit your system fast. Then you don't want food at the same time.
All right. Here's a great question. Not a lot of people know this one. We do, but not a lot of people know. Where did you come up with the .fit name, and what the hell does that mean?
Well, it's funny because and by the way, I never really liked it. I just want you to know that. But here's what happened was when we built 24 Hour Fitness, and we sold 24 Hour Fitness back in 2005. So Apex went with it, which was my company, because we merged those companies when we sold everything together. So we left, and after our no compete, we started .fit. And .fit we did it like this, because if you owned, Stronger Training, if you own Gold's Gym, or if you own UFC, you would be the brick and mortar the brick and mortar would be, Frank's Gym, but the extension of Frank's Gym beyond the brick and mortar would be Frank's Gym.fit. So .fit was really the virtual gym, the platform that was connected to that. So it had a double name. No one really adopted that. But like Gold's Gyms here in Southern Cal, you got Gold's Gym Hollywood, right? So Gold's Gym Hollywood.fit would be when you went home, you go into your Gold's Gym Hollywood.fit and you can see your menus and do all that. You can do that anywhere. So that was the original reason for .fit, like .com, because it was a virtual world.
But the reality is what we're doing is connecting the dots of fitness.
Connecting the dots to fitness, right? So that's how we spun it later. When no one really adopted that, probably you're fitness connected. .fit all the way.
I got a question from one of our members. What is the main difference, Neal, between .fit Thermacell and Workout Extreme? And which would you recommend to take before workout?
Oh, okay. Well, really, both of them are going to get you buzzed. I'm sure you probably know that. But the Workout Extreme is something that we really developed originally for endurance athletes. Okay, because you get the right amount of caffeine, and you have taurine, right, and glucuronolactone and so forth. But it's a very specific amount of caffeine that you take at a certain time before your long run or before a marathon. And that gets your caffeine level up, and it significantly improves performance. So from a performance standpoint, if you're an endurance athlete, that's what it was designed for. But what happened, it became a workout supplement, especially for our trainers. I have 40,000 trainers, you guys should know that. And so our trainers, they're taking people through workouts, they're using Workout Extreme to keep themselves, kind of juiced all day. So that became that part. So that's really all you would use. It's really a caffeine product, but it also has taurine, which also is involved in alertness, and it also sort of mellows out the caffeine as well. So that's that. But Thermacell has many weight loss support components. You've got the new Cinetrol in there, which helps you lose weight also. Then, of course, the thermogenic blend is a little bit different. That also just kind of bumps your metabolism even more than, of course, the Workout Extreme would. And that's really what you want for weight loss. So I would use Thermacell if your goal is weight loss before a workout. Otherwise, Workout Extreme.
Neal, I have a young athlete. He's 22 years old in college, and he wants to get jacked up. He wants to get faster, and he wants to take creatine. What's your advice on this, and how should he take this?
Okay, well, certainly, creatine is the most popular supplement in any sport when it comes to any size, strength, or performance sport, because it works phenomenal and it's totally safe, 100%. Thousands and thousands of clinical trials. They're actually giving it to older people now to stave off the loss of muscle, even if they don't work out. I'm talking about 90 years old, 80 years old, right? So creatine has become this really powerful supplement that has nothing but good to it. Now, there's people that don't need it, obviously. Someone trying to lose weight, any of these type of things. So there's plenty of people that wouldn't. But there's a kid 22 years old that wants to get big and strong. They're all using it, right? And you take it. Your first 5 days, you load it. So you're taking 20 grams divided 4 times a day. So that's 5 grams times 4. You take it with your meals or before in your pre-workout shake, add it to that. And your post-workout shake, there's 2 of them, and 5 grams at a time. You got 20 grams after 5 days. Then you take it down to a maintenance dose. And how heavy was this person?
How heavy?
200 pounds. 200 pounds? Yeah, so 5 grams is enough for a maintenance dose. I like 10. I get most athletes that are over 200. I put them on 10 grams. So one scoop in the morning, 1 scoop later on in the day, before the workout or after the workout, either way too. And that's your maintenance dose until you're done with the cycle. And cycles are usually 12 to 16 weeks, depending on the sport. So, for example, in football, like our college athletes, and of course my son and all the players in the Rams and some of the other teams that we work with, what they do is they use it in the off season, get as big and strong as possible. As they get close to camp, they come in through when they go right to camp and they really got to explode and look as good as they can for everything. Take them off the creatine. They lose all the water retention, but retain all the strength, and they're freaky faster. So a really good thing. So we're very scientific on how we do this. We do the combines here, as you've seen.
Can you expand just a bit more on, let's just say, the over 40 crowd who may be on the other end of the spectrum, how creatine could help them?
Well, I mean, let's face it. I think if on over 40, there's 5 grams a day is probably not a bad idea to add to your shake. And again, that would be the benefit. Just it staves off that loss of muscle, makes your gym workouts a little better, and also helps you recover. So yeah, it would be a benefit. I'm not saying everybody would need it. If it works into your budget, there's no reason in the world that you wouldn't use it. You know, I mean, you could use it if you're working out a lot.
So
If you're not, I think you're okay with just the protein until you get older.
So we get a lot of questions coming through. And again, I'd say probably from our standpoint, the two most understood supplements, misunderstood supplements that we get is omega-3 and probiotics. There's so much buzz out there about probiotics and omega-3, super omega-3. Can you dive into why that, just general health, why the hell was that so damn important, Neal?
Well, omega-3 has become the second highest selling supplement in the world now. Multivitamins are number one, multivitamin minerals are number one, and omega-3 has just passed up calcium in the world, just globally, as number two. And it is because of all the research we've been doing over the last 30 years about EPA and DHA. So eicosapentaenoic and hexa, and then docosahexaenoic acid. These are two long chain unsaturated fatty acids that are really only available in fish. Okay, your body does not make nearly enough of it, so they've been determined. They are now determined as essential, must be supplied in the diet. Well, if you're not eating fish, you ain't getting it. We can convert a little bit from flaxseed oil and so forth, but we're very inefficient at that. We look at our Scandinavian counterparts that have this ridiculous reduction in risk of disease, like 30 different diseases they don't get, but we get. It's because of the fish they consume. The same thing with the Inuits. We see they don't even get any heart disease. We do. So we attribute all that to the omega-3 fatty acid because they're involved in all of our vascular system. They're involved in quelching inflammation. That's why I've got everybody during this viral time taking an omega-3 if you're not getting fish. Now, I eat a lot of fish. I eat 8 to 16 ounces a week. I've got a tuna fish sandwich today, so sometimes even more, right? I've never stopped eating it. So I don't take an omega-3 supplement. Like I don't take a calcium supplement. Yet those are the two most popular in the world because, you know, it's always food first. Multivitamin, you'll never know if you're getting all that. It's impossible to identify your food. And no one does. We already know that from the thousands of studies. So you need the vitamin mineral. That's not negotiable. But the other two are based on your diet. But unfortunately, Americans don't eat fish anymore. And they're also afraid to because of the mercury content, which is a significant worrisome thing. We tell mothers that are pregnant, don't eat fish. So that's why another reason we're giving them omega-3 fatty acids in along with the prenatal. So keep that up. So omega-3s are part of brain development and also the cells. Remember, your trillions of cells replace themselves every day as cells are replacing themselves. Brain cells, sometimes you actually develop new ones. We never knew that before. But they require EPA and DHA in order to keep them strong as they keep using things. The same thing with your vascular system. Your vascular system needs EPA and DHA to keep the walls correct, and then stopping inflammation, you know, that happens in the body as we age. So that's what that's that part of the equation. That's why it's become so popular and necessary. So if you're not eating, I'm telling everybody this right now, if you're not eating, 8 ounces of fish a day, you need an omega-3 supplement, and they're cheap. They really are, but you got to get the right one. That's the problem. You can't just go to a store and buy one. Don't buy one from the mass market. Make sure it's a practitioner product. Frank carries one there. You know, we distribute more than anybody, and it's all from Alaska, so clean waters, a sustainable source, all good stuff. And it's the right ratio of EPA and DHA. That's the key to all of that.
All right, Neal, the second part of that was probiotics. There's a big buzz about that. Now, how important is that, and what the hell does it do?
Well, I mean, you've got good bacteria and bad bacteria in your intestines, okay? All the way, we call that the GI tract, the gastrointestinal tract. And we call the bacteria colony in there your microbiome. Well, if your microbiome isn't functioning well, which means you got good bacteria, bad bacteria, but the good has to overwhelm the bad or bad things happen. More inflammation through the body. It's your gut is connected to the rest of your body. We didn't know this till about 20 years ago, where how important gut health is to the rest of your body. But obviously, if you think about it, it makes sense. Your gut is the first line of defense. If that's not healthy, you're screwed. Because you swallow things and goes to the gut, and your gut takes it all apart and then transports what it wants into the body. Well, when the bacteria is down there and it's not working right, it sends signals to your brain and your immune system. Your bacteria, your colony, your microbiome in your gut is connected straight to your immune system. Half your immune system exists there. It's sending signals there. And when it's bad, it's unhealthy. And people that are unhealthy are older people have an unhealthy microbiome, and people that live in polluted areas like big cities, like LA, Boston. You know, you live in the big city, you've got some polluted areas there, and that's what causes that bad bacteria to get in there. So what you want to do by taking a probiotic, you're straightening that out the best you can. And a neutral one, ours is very neutral. They're using probiotics and treating people like it's a medicine now. We're not in that business. We're not in the clinical side. We're in the preventative side. So by just taking a single probiotic a day can help balance that out. I'm not saying everyone needs one. You know, you might live on a mountain, do your own fishing and clear air and all that. I think you probably got a perfect microbiome. I don't think you need to take a probiotic. You know, so but that's the importance of it. That's why we make it certainly for our world, all our athletes. And right now, I'm recommending everybody during this viral time. Anytime it's a high risk, a probiotic is probably a good way to help hedge your bets and keep your immune system supported.
You know, we have quite a few members here, believe it or not, whose parents have suffered or were suffering with Alzheimer's and dementia. Is there anything that I can do for myself or my family to help prevent or stave that off nutritionally, supplement-wise?
Well, yeah, I mean, the advice on that never changes, everybody. You need to exercise regularly, and you need to follow the dietary guidelines the best you can. We know no one does perfectly. It's really impossible to do because it's really an uncomfortable way to eat every day of your life. And we know that. Where you want to supplement are the things as we get older, our body doesn't make certain nutrients because remember, we're not supposed to be here. So when you look at nutrients like acetyl L-carnitine, phosphatidylserine, CoQ10, these are nutrients our body just, when we get in our 40s, 50s, and we just don't do a good job extracting it from food, our digestive systems, and remember, we're not supposed to be here. So it takes more to overcome all that stuff. So we make a product called Brain Health, but we don't sell it in our clubs. It's very expensive. It's a complicated product. And all that does, it may help prevent, if you ever have a chance of hedging bets against cognitive decline, that's the formula. I had the doctor, you guys can Google him, Bruce Ames, helped me with the formula there. And we put that together. So I distribute that to all the top CEOs in the world. We actually made it for ourselves, knowing it's not a product in the gym, because young people don't think about that stuff. Old people start thinking about it. So after age 45, you start taking a couple of those. You're hedging your bets. That's all you're saying. I would never say that's going to stave off Alzheimer's or any of that stuff. I would never go down that road. No one knows that. But if you're going to hedge your bets against cognitive decline, this is what since I was 45 years old, I use it. The top CEOs in the world, they all do, of course, just because we can afford it. It's not that expensive, but it's definitely costly. So it's not a gym product, but you can, that's what we make. And then, of course, you have access to that as well.
Well, it is one of our gym products.
Oh, it is yours. Good.
So Neal, listen, DotFit has, I think, over 50 different products. We carry every single one of them. For the average person going through this uncertain time, what would be the bare basics? Listen,
and I think, Frank, I sent you, so you have it, so you can send it to share it with your members. Yesterday, I sent out to all the people, all our partners, our position on this. So first of all, don't take away from what you need to do first. You need to social distance just the way we are. 75% of my staff is gone, and we have big offices, so the ones that are left are separated far. We're hunkering down at home. Those are the most important things that we can do. You have to pretend like you have the virus. You have to act that way. So you listen to the World Health leaders, listen to what they're doing. That's the first thing that we all need to do to help protect everybody from this thing. So there's number one. Number two, don't miss out on your exercise. Go for walks, walk your dog, do what you have to do there. So make sure that you've got all that, you're keeping yourself moving. And then on the nutritional front, you follow the guidelines. Like, I'll tell you right now, and I made this very clear, and I was interviewed just the other day on TV. My advice is no different than it was when I was 24 years old and I did my first seminar. Follow the nutritional guidelines the best you can. Take your multivitamin and mineral every single day of your life, because it's not about taking it today for the first time. That ain't going to help you, okay? We need these things all the time. So now you've got You've got your multivitamin mineral. So that's the beginning of it. The second most important thing, and you're going to hear me say it again, same thing I've been saying all along, omega-3. If you're not getting it, that's negotiable. If you're getting it from diet, then you don't need that. Bypass that to the thing I added during these high health risks. And what I added, this is the only time you're going to need it pretty much, unless the dietitian wants you using it all the time, is glutamine. And that's muscle defender. 3 scoops a day during high health risk period, like during flu season. And what does that do? That protects your gut, just like a probiotic, but in a different way. It feeds your enterocytes, the things that bring the nutrients into your body. It feeds those things, and it also supports the immune system simultaneously. So you would add that during these times, and then after that, you don't need it. Just get, maybe for the next few months, you would use it, right? Or for every flu season, add it. So that's muscle defender. We call it muscle defender because the athletes use it all the time. All of our stressed athletes use it all year, of course. Because they're so stressed. And their immune system, by the way, you should know this, athletes' immune systems are the worst because their body's constantly being taxed. So they have no choice but to load up on the supplements on a regular basis. Okay, so that's it. So 1, your multivitamin, not negotiable. Your oil is, omega's negotiable if you're eating fish. Then you jump to your glutamine this time, right? And then your probiotic. So that's the list that I have there. And the antioxidant, as long as it works in your budget. That's the polyphenols. Those all will help support the immune system to the next level. And by the way, your multivitamin mineral has high dose of vitamin C. It's got everything, high dose vitamin D, high dose vitamin C, so you don't need to add more. Maybe some more D wouldn't hurt during this time either, because that's dirt cheap. Those things are really cheap. You can add some of that. Make sense?
Oh, that's a perfect deal. Listen, Neal, we're about 45 minutes in right now, and I think we're out of questions, and I think we're all tapped up. I know you and I could do this all day, but we all have a lot of fires to put out. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time and being a part of my family and our families and helping us all.
Anytime. Everybody that's on this, Frank has my contact information, and Frank's, he's a brother, actually more of a son. I'm better looking than him, but we're family and we go back forever. So anything you guys need, I'm here.
All right. Thanks, Neal.
Yeah,
all right, everyone. See you guys a little bit for a workout. Bye.
Okay. See you guys.